Now it's time for another world premiere announced trailer. No, it's not No Man's Sky 2. It's a very exciting, brand new indie title that you haven't heard about until now. We're really honored that the developer decided to come to YouTube Live at E3 to debut it. Here it is, Coma. There it is, the announcement of Coma, and joining us now is the developer, Jason Oda. Jason, this is a big moment for you, I know, to be able to reveal your game here at E3. This is something you've been working on for a long time. I want to sort of give you the floor to tell us what should we know about Coma.
Coma is a game where you play, and you play as yourself in a coma.
Okay.
And it takes place in this dream within your brain, basically deep within your subconscious. And there are these dark forces that are kind of trying to softly convince you to kind of give up on life.
Wow.
And to die, basically. And the only weapons that you have against these dark forces are basically your most cherished memories and the things that matter the most to you and are most beautiful to you.
Yeah.
Also alongside of you, you have the people that you truly love in life. The people that if you were in a coma would sort of sit by you in a hospital and kind of hold your hands. And those are these summonable characters that you can use to sort of help you through the darkness and help you back to life. So it's all about love and stuff like that. You know, we all have these stories in our life, these journeys that we're on in real life, you know, these quests that we're a part of. And if someone were to ask you kind of, you know, if your life was a video game, what would be like the blue boomerangs?
Yeah.
And what would be the mushrooms and the various suits and the gun upgrades? You know, what would those things be for you? These things that give you like happiness and power and love and meaning and all these things that make you want to love life and everything like that. You know, this is what the game sort of helps you bring up and think about.
Yeah.
And normally in a game you would have like a situation where you have like a character that you either sort of become or you empathize with or you make. But it's about you. And it's about, you know, just this idea of the emotional part of it isn't through the story. The idea of the game is that it makes you turn inward and recall all these beautiful memories in your life and in your, you know, just in your everyday life. And you know, it gets pretty artsy and it gets pretty deep, and it's one of these big emotional games. And you sort of ask, well, how do you get people to have these emotional experiences within? And the answer is just you have to ask the right questions to people. And you have to guide them through this process where they are able to ask these questions to themselves. So I'll give you an example, and I'm going to warn you, I'm very artsy and we're going to get into the deep stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So,
we like that stuff.
If you think back to your life, and you think back to, let's say, a pet that you had when you were a kid maybe, or the pet that you have now, this pet that you truly loved and was maybe your favorite pet of all time. You know, you think back to these images of it, you know, the day you picked it up from a shelter or a pet store and it came home, and maybe it was just a little puppy or a little kitten or something like that. And you watch that pet grow in your life. Yeah. And you can imagine it leaping over the grass, and you can imagine it falling asleep in this little ray of light coming through the window, you know, and you see it grow and time passes. Yeah. And then eventually maybe that pet passes and you remember that time when, you know, how sad you were from losing that pet. And already when you flood these images into your mind, you're already seeing this inner stuff within you that is beautiful and wonderful, and like what life is all about, basically like that. And you know, it's about getting these questions into people. if you think back to your life growing up, were you the popular kid, or were you the bully, or were you the bullied kid, or were you the kid that just kind of flew under the radar that nobody noticed? The way that it works in the weapons work in the game is basically you have, let's say you were the bullied kid. You answer these sort of questions and that becomes a defensive weapon. If you're the bully, you're kind of like, you get an attack weapon. If you flew under the radar, you get a stealth weapon. And if you were like the popular kid, you get these summoning weapons. So the things that are the real pieces of your life and who you are determine sort of your way of attacking and going about the game and going through this very dark dream. And it's all customized to your real life and your real memories and feelings. Wow. There's also things about it where, for example, you know, another way that you get people to go deep into themselves is to recall the little details of your life that are just the little details that are beautiful. So for example, if you think back to your life and you think about maybe like the first person that ever broke your heart, you know, what color were her eyes? You can answer that, by the way.
Yeah.
No, answer it.
I can't answer.
Come on, you must remember a little bit. Come on, we're being people here, we're being human. That's what this game is all about. It's being, you know, mine was some green-eyed girl when I was 19 years old that broke my heart for the first time. Beautiful little memories like that, details like that, that get you going into those places in your minds.
Yes.
I can ask you a question that you can talk about maybe.
Yeah.
I was reading your thing about the Colosseum.
Yes.
And you were writing this article about your first time walking into the E3.
Yes.
And how that was like this beautiful, magical moment.
It was.
For you. And that is the type of memory that I want people like you to sort of be able to sort of
well, it defines your
game.
character, who you are,
Absolutely.
and it's something you carry forward, and it has emotional weight and resonance.
Absolutely, and here we are years later, you know, here doing this right now.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the emotional way that I'm trying to bring people in and have people talk about their desires and struggles and have this real inner, almost meditative.
There's so much thought into this. I got to ask you about, you know, you and building this game, and as you see, I mean, you can obviously tell you spend a lot of time thinking about this. Tell us about the team that is building this game.
The team is me
and
a couple freelancers who are I am constantly yelling at to get their work done.
Yeah.
That's what
people, you see this, and that's what's cool about games. Is people are like, oh yeah, you must have a team of 50. No, it's like, it's you making
this is an indie game, a lot of hard work, a lot of just really hunkering down and getting it done kind of a thing. Yeah. And I know that they're showing all this, the game as you see it right now and all this footage that they're showing it's a lot of combat that we're seeing because it's actually, with all the deep stuff in there, this is a combat game. It's an action game, it's an adventure game where you're searching around. It isn't sort of one of these games where you're just kind of doing a puzzle here and walking around. It's a lot of real hard fighting and stuff.
It's incredible what you've been able to pull off. So tell me a bit about, you know, you building this, taking the risk to make it, bringing it to life. I mean,
this is my dream come true. This is the game that I always wanted to make, and I've gotten to an age where I just can't do anything that isn't a real serious, deep emotional endeavor for me. I can't do anything that's like funny or joking anymore. This is like the real serious game that I've always wanted to make.
Is this any? Are you self-funding it? I mean, it's sweat.
This is part of the ID at Xbox program.
Oh, cool. Okay, great.
And it's still very small budget. I live a very meager life in rural Iowa. But I love it, and I love making this game. And I just want to say, add on, a lot of these landscapes and everything that you see, these are all procedurally generated worlds.
Oh, wow.
And so all the landscapes, all the caverns, all the dungeons, they might look like they're set up, but these are all done with code.
Wow.
So the idea is that you're in this dream and it's just different every time. It's constantly changing. And you know, it's just, it's this thing called your mindscape. And you're just exploring all these different things. And there are these big bursts of combat and fighting and adventuring and objective seeking, followed by these very slow meditative talks of going inside. And you really need these memories and all this love and all of this stuff to kind of fight your way through it.
That's cool.
So that's kind of the
combination of deep thought, but also memorable action. Looks really good. So how far are you in development? When will we expect to see this?
It's almost done. This is going to come out 2018 sometime. You know, never promise anything. But yeah, that's the idea. It's going to be on
when you're one
Xbox
man.
One,
it's like
Xbox One and Steam. That's right.
Okay. Xbox One and Steam. Well, Jason, it's really an honor to have you come by, show your game to the YouTube audience. You know, we need more games that have depth and sort of personal, you know, aspects to them, and hopefully everyone will find a little bit of themselves in this game.
Awesome.
Sounds like it's part of your goal.
Absolutely.
So we can't wait to check it out. All right, Jason.
Thank you so much.
Have a great E3. Thanks for coming all the way from Iowa to be on YouTube Live at E3. And now it's time to take a look at